Everybody knows about chick flicks and probably even chick lit, which is written for and by women. Usually it's about the struggles of romance and finding Mr. Right. Well, now some men are starting to ask, hey, what about us? Here today is the author of Life is a Loser, a Bridget Jones look, the flip side, if you will, on the struggles of life with the opposite sex. Will Leach is here. And there's the cover, just a real simple cover. You're a simple kind of guy.
Yeah, we try to be pretty meat and potatoes about it. Like the story's in there. There's no reason to get fancy. I didn't want any frilly type of pretty Bridget Jonesy girly cover, I guess.
I just couldn't see you wanting something that's frilly and girly.
It'd be hard for me to pull off.
But your life is a loser. Are you a loser? Come on.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing is people always ask people because they meet me and I don't know why they don't just immediately realize that I'm a loser, but they always like, oh, you're not really a loser. This is just like a gimmick. But
do you feel like a loser?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, you don't.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's just like being a loser's not so much like, you know, I'm constantly getting kicked in the groin or terrible things are always happening to me. It's more of just like, it's more of a matter of always feeling like maybe everybody else knows something more about life than I do. Like there was a class where they taught you how life was supposed to be lived and you missed class that day.
Right.
And it's kind of a general unease, insecurity that I think a lot of guys have that maybe they don't feel necessarily comfortable.
But are you secure with your insecurity and shortcomings?
Well, I mean, I'm aware of them. I don't know if that makes me secure of them, but yeah, and that's the thing is, I think there's a lot of people like that you know, a lot of the stories in the book are individual about my life, but it's not like a diary. Like the idea of it is that, you know, people can see, like people know what it's like to be picked last in kickball when you're a kid,
right.
or to have you think your parents like your sister more than they like you, or you know, or more specifically even girls leaving you and stuff like that, and not being able to make that work. And I think,
well, that happened to you. In fact, you were going to appear, or you did appear on Win Ben Stein's Money, and the night before something happened with your fiance. What happened?
Yeah, I was engaged, and the night before it was an 8 a.m. taping, and about 2 o'clock in the morning. My ex-fiance told me that she didn't want to get married. So, and I, of course, handled it very well. No, I didn't. I completely collapsed. I was like, no, don't go, don't go. And that lasted all night. And then I ended up being on the show.
And it came out on the show.
Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel, who's the guy he was the co-host at the time. I had told them that just happened. They're like, oh, we're not going to mention it. Don't worry about it. Nothing will happen.
And what does he do?
And he goes, our last contestant is Will Leach. He's a film critic. He loves Woody Allen. And he just got unengaged about an hour ago.
And the show didn't go so well. You didn't win any of Ben Stein's
No,
money.
I actually kind of blacked out a little bit. The lights seemed really bright when that happened. They actually had to stop tape, and they snapped it together. And they're like, Will, are you okay? Can you do this? And I was like, hey, I want to win Ben Stein's money. Let's go. And I finally snapped out of it.
And then later you found out your ex-fiance inherited a bunch of money. So not only did you not win Ben Stein's money, you didn't get any of that inheritance.
I didn't get any money at all, man.
And then you went on this odyssey of sorts where you were just kind of like bumming around people's houses. You were drinking you said you would go to friends' houses, sleep on their couch, drink their beer, and leave and contribute no money. You did that to relatives as well?
because you know, I was one of those people that get caught up in the .com thing. Where I worked for the .com, and they told us we were all going to be rich and famous during the boom, and then overnight, none of us had jobs, apartments, or anything. So, so I think there were a lot of people like that. That's a lot of stories I think people can relate to, where all of a sudden you've got something and then it's just gone.
But you know, a lot of stuff that's written for women is read by guys.
Yeah.
Don't act like you don't read Mademoiselle. You know you do, right?
No.
Okay. But no, guys read that stuff so they can find out more about the opposite sex. Do you write about stuff so women can find out more about men? Is it really stuff about men for men? Or?
I just write about it because I personally find it interesting and something that will connect with people. But that said, women tend to respond more to the stuff, which I always find strange. But like to me, I don't write it. I'm not writing from a male perspective. I'm writing from my perspective, and I think that's what appeals to them, is that there's an honesty to it, and I'm coming from like a place that
it's
I'm
cathartic. You're getting it out.
Yeah,
what a big word I'm using there.
That's good. But
and it's a book now, but it started off as just some online.
It was on a site called blacktable.com, and it's been running for 5 years. I actually just ended the internet columns, and now it's just for the book. But we still do the site and everything. But yeah, it started as an internet column, and the publisher came to me and said we would love to make these into a book. And
you know, you're not a loser. You're not. You may have had some losing or difficult moments, but you're a winner in my book.
Well, thanks.
You feel better? Okay. You can find Will's book. It's called Life is a Loser. at most online retailers, or you can buy directly from his publisher, Aravis Press. Its website is www.aravispress.com.